says, I'm not talking about the people in our group. And I said, who are you talking about? She says, everybody that knows we're preppers and knows where we live that do not prep themselves. And I went, okay, I'm a problem solver. Let's make a list. And we sat down and we made a list of 27 families that were coming to our house that knew we were preppers. And we began the task of preparing for them. A full year, food, water, fire, shelter, first aid, and hygiene. 27 families. It took us 11 months to accomplish this task. It's not expensive, guys. I can feed a family of 4 for a year for $300. When you go to the grocery store and you buy that family-sized bag of double-stuffed Oreos and the 12-pack of Pepsi, and you take it home and you eat it, what you spend on those 2 items will feed a family of 4 for a week. So if you do that every week for a year, let's swap it around. That's 52 families that you could have fed for a week if they came to you. That's 52 souls. That's 208 souls that come to you for help, and you can't help them because you can't afford to prep for others, let alone prep for yourself, let alone for others. But yet you're consuming crap like that on a daily basis. If you didn't think that we were about to face a society event, which I can tell you something, guys, I've been on the record 43 times. What's my track record? I made my 44th prediction in August. It didn't matter who the president was. I love the fact that I got one. I love the fact that we have a Republican House and a Republican Senate. And I love the fact that the Marine, that old Mad Dog, can be the Secretary of Defense. But it's all irrelevant. See, we're dealing with the 432-year cycle. We're dealing with the 3,647-year cycle. We're dealing with the 5,664-year cycle. And it doesn't matter whether you've got a bunker full of a Walmart. It doesn't matter whether you live in a walled community with Navy SEALs manning the walls. It doesn't matter if you've got enough food, water, fire, shelter, first aid, hygiene for 127 people you've never met, which I do. Because we didn't stop with the 27. It doesn't matter what you have. It doesn't matter how much money you've got in the bank. It doesn't matter who's running our country. In March of 2017, we will face a natural disaster greater than anything mankind has endured for 3,647 years. And those of us that survive will face the greatest disaster that mankind has seen in 5,464 years in July. That is what every government of the world knows. That is what all 137 government agencies from around the world understand. That is what the Doomsday Council in 2003, now they're called the Doomsday Council, at the United Nations sat and discussed for months. So much so that the time when we were facing a global recession, the United Nations asked every member state to spend billions of dollars trying to figure out what their country will look like 6 months after the government of the United States ceased to exist. A year later in 2004, when we were facing a global depression, they asked every country of the world to participate in the study, spending billions of dollars to figure out what the United States would look like 6 months after the government of the United States ceased to exist. And everybody always comes up to me and says, well, Bob, what did they find out? My question is, who cares what they find out? What did they learn before that made them do this? Because what they found out is that 88 to 94% of us are going to die, and over half of us are going to die because we've killed somebody, we've been killed by our fellow man, and a third of us are going to die because we've killed ourselves. Guys, it's over. You can get all happy all you like about how Donald Trump won, and trust me, I celebrate. I danced a jig that my 45-year-old body didn't think it could do for a long time. I was so happy on election night. There you go, veterans for Trump. And the other day when my wife told me that Mad Dog was going to be the Secretary of Defense, oh man. I told her, I said, honey, this is one of my top 5 greatest days of my life. And I got married and had 2 kids. There's 3 of them. See what I'm saying? But the cold hard reality is, guys, in 2005, Russia, who was on the brink of a massive depression, who was dealing with hyperinflation, undertook to build 1,000 bunkers that would each house 1,000 people and stockpile with enough food, water, fire, shelter, first aid, and hygiene for 5 years. That's 1 million people. That's a major undertaking. Their deadline was December of 2014, and they completed it in May of 2009. That's how much Russia believed in those reports. The United States believed in those reports so much that we closed down our continuation of humanity and continuation of government facilities in Pennsylvania. We moved continuation of humanity to Denver. We moved continuation of government to Indianapolis. Those of you that live in Indianapolis, congratulations. You got a better chance of surviving than the rest of us. Unfortunately, it will be under a dictatorial government that reforms and reconstitutes here. Guys, all of this is public information. It's out there for you to find. But you're too busy listening to people whose names I won't say because I don't like to talk bad about people, but their initials are Alex Jones, Glenn Beck, and Steve Quayle, telling you to fear your government and to fear your fellow man, not to share with people. Where are we? Stand up for me, will you? Matter of fact, thank you for volunteering. Will you come up here? Outstanding. Thank you for volunteering. Will you come up here? Thank you. You two married? Got kids? No kids? Okay. Are you married?
Yes.
Is that your husband?
Yes.
Thank you for volunteering. I need you to kind of hang off to the side for a second. How old's your brother? And how old are you? 15. Stand up for me. Thank you for volunteering. Y'all face each other. Now I want you to picture him with a bandage wrapped around his head covered in blood. And I want you to picture him in a shirt that's torn with blood pouring out of his side. And I want you to picture him walking with the stick hunched over because his ankle is broken in 2 spots. And he knocks on your door and he asks you if you can spare some food for his brother. Stand up, brother. For him, not for himself. No medical attention. He wants to get you to give something that he can give to his brother because his brother is dying of starvation. Are you going to turn him away? How many kids? Wow. How many live at home? 8. She shows up at your front door with 8 children. 2 of the children are being carried by some of the other children because they're lethargic and passed out from dehydration. It's obvious she has been beaten and abused. And she says to you, you're on the other side of that tree line. Will you please help me and protect me and my kids? Are you going to tell her no? Look at her in the eye. Her kids all around her, dying of thirst, dying of starvation, dying of lack of proper hygiene and sanitation. And you're going to turn her away? I need the 2 of y'all to grab a seat right here. Someone in a second. Thank you for volunteering. The point is, guys, is that when these people show up at your home, the ones that ridiculed you for being a prepper, the ones that laughed at you for wasting your money on food while they're out polishing their brand new boat, the ones that laughed at you for giving up an entire Saturday to come to a prepper show while they're taking their spouse to a movie, the ones that have ridiculed you for years, when they show up on your front door with their dying children, you do not have the intestinal fortitude to turn them away. I normally at this point, but I'm running out of time, I normally at this point ask everybody to do it. Oh, I got plenty of time. Yeah, okay. Let's take a moment. Close your eyes for a second. I want you to think back to your aha moment. That moment where you realized, I got to start preparing for my family. Something at that moment triggered you, whether it was a news report, a book you're reading, a coworker. For me, it was my dad who looked at me and said very simply, if you died tomorrow and it takes 3 months for your insurance company to pay your life insurance, how is your wife going to feed your children? Because he said, as a man, you're responsible. You took an oath in front of God at an altar. That doesn't end because you died mistakenly or tragically in an accident. But think back to that moment you had that aha moment. Now think back to the day before when life was so great, right? And we went to the grocery store and we bought what we needed, and we didn't worry if we had a full tank of gas in our car because there'll be more tomorrow. We didn't worry about having guns to protect our family because nothing bad's ever going to happen. Now ask yourself this: if you could go back in time today to the day before you became a prepper and have a conversation with yourself, and you look at yourself, your former self, and you say to them, my plan for surviving a society-ending event is to kill my neighbors and loot their homes and take their stuff. What in the hell is your former self going to say to you? You see what I'm saying? There was a moment when we weren't selfish. There was a moment in our lives where we were good, decent people. There was a moment in our lives where we hadn't allowed the fearmongers trying to convince us to buy something to cause us to become selfish people that would turn away from our fellow man. I need the two of y'all to come up here for me. I'm really going to irritate some of you here in about 30 seconds. But if you'll stick with me for 8 minutes, you'll love me. Okay? Hitler was a genius. He was. He took an entire people and united them with the common enemy. And had it not been for the United States and one foolish mistake of splitting his military on two separate fronts, he would have dominated Europe. You know what Hitler taught me? Hitler taught me how to torture people. This is where I'm going to lose some of you. Stick with me for 8 minutes. See, if I want to know something from this guy, if I'm in the SS and I want information from this guy, you know what Hitler taught us? I put him into a room, I strip him naked, I tie him to a chair. A naked man faced with aggressive males, alpha males that are clothed, that naked man loses all bravado. So I strip him naked, and then I take my tray, and I say, what's your name? Dorn? Outstanding. I say to you, Dorn, I'm going to use this to cut your arm with. I'm going to use this to peel the skin off of your leg with. I'm going to use this to pluck your eye out with. I'm going to screw this into your ear. I show him all of the implements that I'm going to use to inflict pain on him, and then I say to him, Dorn, this is what I want to know. Give me the answer. Give me the answer. I like Dorn. But see, in most cases, when the man would say no, we don't touch him. We bring his wife into the room, facing each other. We strip her naked, we tie her to the chair, and we go back to Dorn. I'm going to peel the skin off of her leg with this. I'm going to screw this into her ear. I'm going to pluck her left eye out with this. I'm going to break her right middle finger with this. And I show him all the implements I'm going to use to inflict pain on his wife. And then I say to him, answer my question. And when he says no, I usher his 10 children into the room. I don't have to do anything else at that point. When she sees her kids walk into that room, she'll tell me everything I want to know. And if she doesn't, she know what I need to know, she's going to beg poor Dorn here to tell me everything he needs to know, that I need to know. Stand up for me for a second. Now, how can we take that completely evil thing and twist it around and put it into something good? Y'all ready? It's very simple. Stand up. When they show up at my retreat with their 10 children, carrying 2 of them in their arms because they're lethargic from lack of hydration, when their eyes are blackened from lack of protein, lack of nutrition, and their hair's all messed up, their hygiene's gone at that point, and she's realizing her children are dying. When they show up at my retreat and they say, will you help us? My answer is always going to be yes. I'm going to run out of stuff eventually anyway. See, I have to do everything in my power to save as many people as possible. I'm going to tell you why in a minute. So when they show up and he says, can you help my family? And I say, yeah, if there's a cabin up here, y'all take them up to the cabin up here that we quarantine everybody in. Then the doctor will come and check them out while we're bringing them food and water, immediate needs for the family. As soon as they've been checked out from the doctor, we'll bring in bath water for them so they can bathe their family.